మన తెలుగు కమ్యూనిటీకి ఇంకొక గర్వకారణము స్టేట్ లెజిస్లేచర్ నాకు లెజిస్లేటివ్ రామ్ విల్లీవలంని వేదిక మీదకి రావాల్సిందిగా కోరుతున్నాను. రామ్, ప్లీజ్ కమ్ అవుట్ టు ద స్టేజ్. I am not so well versed with the politics of this country. అదే ఎమ్మెల్యే అనండి, ఎంపీ అనండి నాకు చాలా ఈజీగా అర్థమైపోతుంది. కానీ ఐఎమ్ నాట్, యూ అండర్స్టాండ్ తెలుగు రైట్? ఐ కెన్ టాక్ టు యూ. సో ఇతను మన తెలుగు వాడు, గివ్ హిమ్ ఎ రౌండ్ ఆఫ్ అప్లాస్. మీరు చాలా మంది చూస్తున్నారు రామ్ విల్లీవలం. I have difficulty calling him Ram because he is always referred as Ramu also by మన తెలుగు వాళ్ళు. So thanks Ram for being here on a short notice, and I'd like you to say a word or two.
Hello everyone, namaskaram, Minandarki. As was mentioned, Ram Villivalam, State Senator for the 8th District, which actually includes about 215,000 people from Devon Avenue to Skokie, Niles, Morton Grove, Glenview, and unincorporated Des Plaines. It's my honor to be here today. Some of you may know me as Ramu. Some of you know me as Dhanani Villivalam's son, most importantly. And so I'm here today because I have been a part of the Telugu community. My parents came here in the 1970s, and I wanted to come and show my support to the Chicago Andhra Association as they celebrate their 6th anniversary. We should all give a round of applause for that. And the reason that's so important is what you just saw in the last performances is I tell everybody I'm the only Indian American in the Illinois General Assembly out of 177 legislators that go down to Springfield. And I tell them about our community, about the immigrant community. The hardest challenge we have is by coming to this country and trying to keep our heritage, our culture, our language, our religion, while also embracing this country's language and societal norms. And it's because of organizations like the Chicago Andhra Association that we see the youth here today singing, dancing, and doing theatrical performances and embracing our culture that we've had from India and still being here today. And so my kids are, my first son is Rohan, my second son is Lokesh. They're 3.5 and 8 months old, so they need to grow a little bit more. They're doing nap time right now, otherwise they'd be here. But I want them to be a part of this association as well. And lastly, I'll say, I want to congratulate Dr. Namaraju for her Lifetime Achievement Award. It is another reminder of our culture. Please give her a round of applause. That we recognize the lifetime work of our community members and acknowledge and respect the work of our elders. So she is very much deserving, and I'm very happy that she's gotten that award. And lastly, I'll say, as Mani said, my last name may be Villivalam, which is familiar. My mother's maiden name may be Mazumdar, which is Bengali, as you all know. But I am Telugu and Andhra heart at heart. So I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to be at home. So thank you so much for having me. Telugu, em chapali Telugulo. Andaru bagunnara?
Andaram bagunnam, and I just heard him. I just heard an achievement that Ram did for our Indians. I heard that H4s. Ram, I don't know if you want to speak about that, but.
So, when you come to these events, you always wonder whether you should go into all the policy. But first and foremost, I want to tell everybody, in the state of Illinois, we passed a balanced budget. We have $1.8 billion in tax relief coming to 97% of Illinois residents. Number one. Number two, we work really hard. I'm the only Indian American. There's 4 other Asian Americans, Chinese Americans in the Illinois legislature. We work together to make it so that each public school in the Illinois has to teach a unit of Asian American history. That way, we are seen in our schools. Third, we did work this last session to pass House Bill 4070. We're creating the Indian American Advisory Council to the governor, because the governor and the Illinois legislature They don't know what's best for the Indian American community. You all do. So we want to make sure that there's people on the advisory council that are advising the governor and advising us. And then last point I want to make before I get to the H4 is something that's personal to me, and I want to make sure everybody knows this because I'm in the presence of you all. We actually had an experience with my son. I'm getting a little serious. He had a high lead level, and we found out that part of the reason for that was some of the spices that were coming from India that we were cooking with. So I want everyone to know, this is a public service announcement. Please get your children's lead levels checked. I'm working on legislation to address that. A lot of people talk about lead paint and the lead service water lines. It also so happens that the spices from some spices like turmeric and others from other countries lead to that. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. And then lastly, as Money mentioned, I've been working with U.S. Senator Dick Durbin and Congressman Roger Krishnamurthy to make sure that there's a pathway for our H4s and our H1s. It's long past time that we get comprehensive immigration reform, and believe me, I'm going to do everything I can at the state level to make that happen. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ram. Now, I was actually getting ready to have a nice dinner, and you scared us off with the spices thing. I hope all the spices in our food are good. We can all eat, and as a factor of test, we want you to eat with us now. Thank you so much, and thank you. Thank you.